We must get to Celebrity Sleaze with Fram.
Barnes, you thought that there were no more honors or big award shows?
Killing me.
Well, guess what? There was you know what the Spirit Awards are?
Yes.
That's for independent films.
Yes.
But then the other big one over the weekend, the Producers Guild Awards, and they honored filmmaker Martin Scorsese with the David O. Selznick Achievement Award. He said it was full circle because I don't know, he was 22 years old when he won that award at the Milestone Dinner Award. So for him, it was full circle. Good for him. And then all the usual winners, except there were a couple of more that got in there. I thought it was kind of interesting. First of all, we know that Oppenheimer took home the big award, Succession, The Bear, Beef. But how about last week tonight, RuPaul's Drag Race, Welcome to Wrexham, yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and American Symphony, all among the winners.
Why don't they spread these out over months instead of cramming them all in at the same time? People that like award shows can't even watch them all.
You know what I was also thinking, too, is if you are winning all of these, you know, like a Cillian Murphy or whomever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to come up with different speeches. By the time the Oscars come around, you're like, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'm talked out. I'm sorry. Thanks.
I know. Do you do your
Peace out.
Your weak speech, leading
That's
up,
what I'm
and then you
saying.
save your big one for the Oscars?
Got another internet troll story for you. This one is with Amy Schumer. After she was on The Tonight Show, she was inundated with comments about her appearance, specifically that her face was unusually puffy. Well, good for her. She fired back. Thank you so much for everyone's input about my face. I've enjoyed feedback and deliberation about my appearance, as all women do, for almost 20 years. And you're right, it is puffier than normal right now. I have endometriosis. But then she found out it wasn't that. She said, quote, "It's been a couple of weeks for me and my family. Aside from fears about my health, I also had to be on camera having the internet chime in, but thank God for that because that's how I realized something was wrong." She was diagnosed with Cushing syndrome. That is a condition that occurs when too much cortisol is inside one's body for a long time. I had a friend who actually had that, and your face, it sort of blows up. Anyway, she went on and on, said about all the MRIs she had been through and that hopefully it is working itself out and she will be healthy soon.
Man, people are ruthless.
It's unbelievable.
The internet is just such a vile landscape.
And I love when people make comments and then other people make comments about their comments, and then there's all this dialogue with people together who are basically trolling each other. It's out of control.
Sitting in a dark room on a keyboard.
Wendy Williams has issued a statement thanking her fans for their support following the news that she has been diagnosed with dementia. It's really sad. She has aphasia. We talked about this the other day, which is what Bruce Willis has.
Dude, I've watched all that's been released so far of the documentary.
Tell me about it.
It is troubling, and now I see that there's a lawsuit that her guardian is suing A&E, the parent network of Lifetime, for this.
Why?
I guess what happened was they started filming the documentary when they didn't know all these things. Her show was just ending, and their whole thing was they were going to capture her way back via a podcast. Mm-hmm. And then all this erratic behavior started happening, and they're just there capturing everything as it's happening in real time. And then they realize this is a medical situation, but she's the executive producer of it, and they had already had all the sign-offs, and now it's airing. They tried to do an injunction to stop the airing, and it came out.
So you basically see everything unfold.
It is traumatizing to watch, and it's unbelievable how many diseases this poor woman has, and she can't function. And there's a camera there a lot.
See, I don't like that at all.
It's really hard
as it unfolds, because we didn't hear from her for a long time, and now we know why.
It's a sobering watch.
Yes.
She has Graves' disease, apparently, is one of the things, and it makes her eyes bulge. And so half the time her eyes are just bulging out, and the camera's right in front of her face, and she's showing her abnormalities with her feet, all these things. I didn't know, these things were happening, but she screams at people, dismisses people violently.
Well, a lot of that has to do with whatever, she has that makes you agitated.
Right, multiple things. It's really, really wild that this is on TV.
Where did you see this? Is this
It's on Lifetime.
Okay.
It's like a 4-part or a 5-part or two. I think 2 of the parts are out. That's all that I saw there.Maybe there's more, but I didn't see any other ones.
Check out a couple of things happening in the music world. There's an ad that Madonna made for a Brazilian bank. It calls out ageists who think she's too old to keep reinventing herself.
But reinventing is one thing. But what she's doing, is it really reinventing?
Listen, I was a big Madonna fan. I used to go to all of her shows, and then I just feel like things got really weird over the years.
Yeah, she's redoing. She's not reinventing.
She's on this big hits tour.
Here's that ad.
It's not about who I am. It's about how many I am. Count my achievements, not the number of years I have lived on this planet. I'm always reinventing myself so that I can keep being myself.
I just don't know that she's reinventing. We've all seen this before.
Attention getting.
Yeah.
Now, I don't believe this next story, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway.
Please.
Because it's so good. This is going into the world of Taylor Swift because I don't think she likes the fact that her boyfriend goes to strip clubs.
Who does, right?
So the British tabloids have said Taylor has banned Travis from visiting nudie bars after seeing him wearing a T-shirt from the Crazy Horse 3 in Vegas.
No way.
After a game against the Raiders earlier this year. She also wants him to FaceTime her instead of texting when they're apart because, quote, she secretly wants to see where he is and who he's with. Take note, ladies. Taylor's also changing his look. Here's the part I really don't believe. She gave him $500,000 to step up his wardrobe. A source says, quote, she loves that he likes to take chances with his style choices, but some of his outfits have been suspect. She isn't trying to change Travis. She's trying to help him evolve, Barnes, to meet his new level of fame.
Sounds like there's some truths in there and some BS.
You think?
I mean, I don't see her saying don't go to strip clubs. She's gonna be like, yeah, whatever, I'll do. I mean, you know what I mean? She's not going to be able to control the guy that much. But I do know a rock star that his wife forces the FaceTime. So that could be accurate. It's not someone in Atlanta. Don't start that. Oh, it's that.
But, I think that's actually kind of smart.
That could be. I mean, she would, the wife would force him to, when he went to sleep, put the FaceTime on the phone, prop the phone up in the hotel room so she could at any time see him.
Ooh.
Now that's extreme, but that's a fact.
That is really extreme. Well, we saw over the weekend where he was partying and, singing one of her songs and jumping up and down like a little kid.
Yeah.
He loves to partay.
That's interesting.
You know who we haven't heard from in a long time, Barnes?
Who?
I know you've missed him. Joe Exotic.
Oh, yeah. He's still in jail forever, right? How many years? A lot.
He isn't letting prison bars and cancer get in the way of him shooting his shot at a celeb. Commenting on Machine Gun Kelly's Instagram post showing off his new all-black torso tattoo, Joe Exotic wrote, a tiger and a bit of meth, and you would be mine, LOL.
How does that make it in the news?
He also reposted the picture, writing on his own account, a tiger and a little bit of meth, I can make MGK gay.
He's right down the road in North Carolina, and he'll get out in 2035, FYI.
He's in prison, right?
Oh, no. Oh, wait, now he's back in Fort Worth. My bad, yes.
How is he on Instagram? Did you even think about that? Like, I'm scrolling through my Instagram and I'm going to make comments. What?
I think they probably have computer access for a certain time of the day or part of the day, and he just gets on his Instagram.
Sorry, I thought that was strange.
It's strange that someone picked up the story.
I guess it's Joe Exotic.
I mean, okay.
This is a wild story. Hilary Swank, not an easy mark, but in 2013, she was living in Paris. One day she was riding in a taxi cab, sitting in traffic. A guy smashed the cab window, grabbed her purse, and took off. Well, guess what? She took off after him. She was on The View. She said she was most concerned about her passport. Not only are they hard to get, but hers was, quote, nice and thick, and I added pages with all the places that I'd like to travel to. I was like, this is so meaningful. Now, she never went on to say if she got the guy or not. But would that be your instant reaction if you were out of the country in a cab and somebody smashed the window and grabbed your whatever, passport or whatever?
Well, yeah, you got to make a move, but she's tiny. She's like, what, 5'5", 5'6"? Good for her. Get up in it.
I thought that was crazy. Remember earlier we were talking about concert riders?
Yeah.
Comedians also ask for crazy things. You ready for this? Kevin Hart wasn't super demanding on his recently reality check tour. His rider contained kind of basic things, aside from the 4 man-scented candles, which is kind of funny, listed under the heading very important. There's one thing that kind of sticks out, though. You're not going to believe this one, Barnes.
What?
Kevin demands that there not be any traffic on his way to or from the venue.
Oh, come on. So
the rider
just...
states that, quote, under no circumstances are vehicles to be allowed to encounter any delays due to traffic. Now, you know the venue can't control that, but the cops can. Quote, police escorts must be arranged in order to facilitate artist vehicles' arrival and departure from the venue. Escort must be empowered to route vehicles through any potential traffic delays.
There's no way he's that much of a diva. No way.
They're also not allowed to search guests as they enter the building. I'm telling you, this is in his rider.
That's one of those ones that has to be just so they're paying attention. He can't be for real.
I just thought it was crazy.
And you can't search guests on the way in? That's putting him at risk.
Will you keep note of this in case we ever talk to Kevin Hart?
I'll file that. Yeah.
All right. Now, we all know that all I've been talking about is, the Oscars. Well, there's a company looking to pay someone $2,000 to watch all 10 Best Picture nominees. I've already done that. They'll also give a 65-inch 4K TV and a $500 DoorDash gift card for snacks. So after watching the films, whoever they choose will have to predict the winners. Don't you think that's weird?
It's weak. $2,000 to watch all those movies? I mean, you need to pay me $2,000 just to watch that one that's 4 hours long. That's just, I'm surprised they're getting this much press over such a small prize.
I don't know how many people that they're asking to do this, or if they're, trying to create a poll, but it is testcasinos.com.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to downgrade to a 65-inch TV, but thank you. We're trying to go the other way, people.
I just thought it was weird, but there is a poll. Oppenheimer is the pick of most Americans to win Best Picture at the Oscars. 24% of Americans think it will win. 21% said it should win. Barbie is next, with 14% thinking it will win, 12% thinking it should. It's even ahead of Killers of the Flower Moon and American Fiction. Anyway,
can we put that into chapters? I might be able to do it if you can trick my mind to think I'm watching like a limited series and put it in chapters, like Married at First Sight or all of those shows. Give me chapters.
I just feel like they're dead on with Oppenheimer. Don't know about Barbie though. I love Barbie, but
Yeah, is it really going to walk with an Oscar?
Unbelievable. Well, here's something doing really well.
Maybe music though, or something like that.
It could. The latest Hollywood biopic, that Bob Marley, One Love, jamming at the global box office. Now it's over $100 million. $61.4 million domestically, $39.7 million overseas. After only 10 days in the theater. And then guess what's spinning out of control?
What?
Madam Web.
In a bad way.
In a bad way. And you saw all of the reviews. Brutal.
The one thing that scares me about the Bob Marley movie.
What? What scares you?
Normally when a movie does that big, you start seeing reaction to whatever the content is, and this is Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And if you missed what we were talking about the other day, don't get your Jamaica itch on, because there were 65 murders in 4 weeks in January.
I remember you had mentioned something about that.
Yeah, so just, take that one from the theater and then stop there. Careful with, that country is, that's a tough go.
Still rumors about Meryl Streep and Martin Short dating, because they've been going to dinners together. Hey, people, maybe they're just friends.
Yeah, but people think there's substance to it.
People think there is real substance to it because they've been seen everywhere together. I could see that, two actors at their age relating to each other. But talking about only murders in the building, Selena Gomez, she was on Kimmel. She said she was obsessed with one of our biggest 99X groups, growing up.
Was there somebody you were kind of obsessed with?
Yeah, Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Oh, that's a pretty... Wow. That's a good one.
I don't know. I think my mom, obviously would play all kinds of music for me growing up, and I kind of got obsessed and dyed my hair and cut my hair like him.
I did not see that coming.
Me either. Dyed her hair, too. Talking about 99X bands, I don't know if you saw this story. When Taylor Swift was playing in Sydney on Friday, Blink-182 was playing an arena show like a couple of minutes away. So Mark Hoppus decided to have a little fun. Earlier in the day, he went over to Accor Stadium where she was playing and recorded himself telling the Swifties that they should be going to see Blink-182 instead.
Dude, I saw this video and not a person knew who he was.
Well, of course not.
I mean...
At the Swifties?
And that's a big band. That tells you how far our worlds are apart. But you can hear a pin drop with dude over there.
So funny.
It's pretty funny.
I'm about to go on stage and I'm really disappointed in everybody here because this is the Taylor Swift show. You should have gone to see Blink. Should have gone to see Blink 182. We're right next door.
Crickets.
Could have seen Blink tonight, just saying.
People are like, what's wrong with that guy?
Well, the funny thing is that Mark and his wife caught one of Taylor's shows while they were in town because they got a picture with Taylor. And then his bandmates, Tom DeLonge, went to see Taylor too, where they met Rebel Wilson, Katy Perry, Rita Ora. So they all went to see Taylor in Australia.
Can you imagine if Taylor would have brought him out on stage?
Do you think people would have known who he was?
No, I'm saying the Travis Kelce effect. I'm saying that Blink would even be more. All those people who didn't know, they'd be like, oh, we're supposed to like this guy.
Oh, that's the band that sang All the Small Things.
Exactly.
Oh, that's your celebrity sleaze.